All right, let me say hello and welcome to each and every one of you. Doug here with thelincolnlist.com, and welcome to another daily edition of Stock Market Mutterings, where I always say I will do my very best to take a grope in the murkiness, try to make some sense out of the market over here, and try to provide you guys with some quality trade setups. Now, if you need help, ever since I moved into the new office, I've been live streaming here daily. So make sure if you want to trade, you can trade with us live. Right there's the link. Feel free to click on it and join us any day that the market is open. Now, I don't want you to get the smile. Don't let the smile fool you, because I'm a bit grumpy today. And I don't want to put something in the title like, this is what traders hate. It's probably hard to define that down like one thing, because traders can hate a lot of things, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, who've done any longer term type of trading. There's a lot of things that you can hate. But one of the things I really struggled with, and again, this is why I do these. I've always wanted to be straightforward with people about the journey. I know I like to curmudgeon a lot, but that's just my thing. I once said that there's never a perfect day in trading, ever. You either lose money and you're pissed, or you made a lot of money and you're pissed because you could have made a whole lot more. Like, there's never this day really that goes by, oh, you know what, I did every single thing perfectly. I mean, if you did, you're just not a trader, right? This is the life of a trader. But one of the things I really struggled with early on, like 2 decades ago, was how I felt that sometimes I just wasted my time. Like I felt that if I worked really hard when I started trading, if I worked really hard and I put in the time, that was going to guarantee me success. Like I was entitled to it. And that's not true. You can work as hard as you want. That doesn't mean you're guaranteed success. It helps, but it doesn't mean that you're automatically a shoo-in for success. And one of the really tough things that I had was like this loss of time. So like, for example, today, I lost the exact same amount of money today as I made yesterday, right? And my mind takes off sometimes and starts to wander. And it doesn't bother me anymore these days, but in the old days I would be thinking, man, that means that's 2 days I worked for nothing. So all the money I made yesterday was the same amount I lost today. I got nowhere. And I know we all kind of go through this. We go through peaks and valleys. That's trading. You have really good weeks, good months, and sometimes you have a couple of bad days here and there. That just comes with the territory. At first, I didn't expect it. I expected, and I know there's a lot of new traders out there, you just expect your success to kind of just go like this, and that trading is going to be, your account's constantly going to grow every single day. But we all kind of know that success really works like this. It's just a back and forth process. But I would think about these 2 days, and I would say, man, I wasted 2 days of my life. I accomplished nothing. I didn't make anything. That's like me going to a convenience store and saying, you know what, I want to work here for 2 days. And they say, how much you want? I'm like, I don't want anything. I want to work here and put up with all the BS that comes with working here, and I don't even want you to pay me. And in fact, I want you to insult me every day before I leave, so I'm belittled just a little bit more. Doesn't trading feel like that sometimes? I could never get over that. When I was younger, I was like, oh man, I could just be. And the good thing about it now is it's just part. I understand it's just part of the business. Like, I'll probably make that back tomorrow. It's not even that much money to begin with. It's more frustrating than anything else. Years and years ago, it used to be like I blew up weeks in a single day. I would just set myself way back. And to me, that's what really, really stings a trader, because I've talked about this before, is you start to feel, like you new aspiring traders out there, struggling traders, you start to feel there's a time you're on the right path and you're moving down the right path. And you're like, hey, I got this. And you got the confidence, you got the ego, and everything's firing all cylinders. Then something happens and you get set back. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I don't know anything about trading. Well, I guess I don't know crap. Well, that was a waste of my time. And then you got to start all over again. And that sucks. And it's hard to get up after that, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. But if you want to be a successful trader, a successful business person, successful in the arena of business, and that's the resilience that you're going to need. So this is what traders hate the most, is that I'm right there, I can see it, and then you pull back, or that you work and you put in all these hours, and then sometimes that's just wasted time. Now, I shouldn't say the word wasted because you do get an education from it, but it makes us feel that we've wasted that time and we can't have it back. So basically I could say that's 2 days I've worked for nothing. And in essence, that is true. But I know I've learned lessons. I know my process works. I know I will finish. I'm up for the week anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, but I used to focus on that real hard. And it would bother me because I said, you know, I would be better off some days if I just got up and walked down the street and started looking for the change that was laying on the street. It would be more profitable if I did that, right? You can say some pretty dark things when you trade for 2 decades, guys. You can say some stuff. So the point in all of this is that's part of the territory. You know, if you want to be wildly successful as a trader, you have to understand that there will be good and bad days. It will be those good days. It will be managing the bad days that will make you rich in trading. It's not doing real well all the time because nobody does that. We all have good days and bad days and such. But the biggest change for me from amateur to professional was the bad days in 2001, 2, 3, 4 were like, there went your account, or there went your month, your 2 months, 6 months, a year. You just blew it out of the water to where, okay, well, that was just a bad day, right? So it was minimizing the damage of the bad day. So the things that traders hate, we hate a lot of things, but we hate feeling like we're wasting our time. We hate feeling like we're just pounding away and studying and working real hard and we're taking a beating. And this is an adjustment that you have to deal with in a career like trading as well, you know, is that when people go to their jobs, regular 9-to-5 jobs, they may hate their boss, they may hate their commute, they may not get along with their coworkers, but no matter how bad they hate their job, they get a check. At the end of the week or every 2 weeks or a month, whatever, they get a check. It's a guaranteed check. When you're doing trading, you're not guaranteed that check. Or when you're doing your own business, you're not guaranteed that check. And that's why a lot of people don't succeed at it, because they can't make that transition. That, you know, you get your ass beat, you get yelled at. You know, like when I had a retail business, I would get yelled at. People wouldn't buy my products, and I didn't get paid. And at the end of the month, I had to write a check for the rent, you know, on my retail store. That sucks, and that's hard to do. You know, it's dipping into your savings on a business. And trading is no different. You know, there's times that you're going to really work your ass off and you really think you're going to get it, and you're going to struggle at times, and you're going to have these setbacks. It's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's okay, because we all have to go through that. And it won't be this overnight sensation from amateur to pro. It will be a slow gradient transaction. And I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm telling you these things to share with you what it really takes. But if you're looking at the long-term picture of saying you want to be here for 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, the rest of your life, you want to make this a career, you have to put yourself in that mindset. You have to be able, even if you go out and start another business, you still have to put yourself in that type of mindset that you will work for nothing on certain days. If you own a business, you will work for nothing. In fact, sometimes you will pay to work. You know, you will. But the days that you do get paid will be more than the other people make on their 9-to-5s tenfold, right? If you do it right. So that's what traders say. We all hate the setbacks, man. We want this to be easy. We want this to be smooth. We want every day to be, like they say on the social media, it's like, oh man, I'm just making all this money, buying Ferraris and Lambos and eating exquisite lunches. I never have bad days. I know everything about stocks. No. So anyway, how about I stop ranting? This is not a freaking happy hour. This is the market mutterings. Let's talk about the stocks, okay? Because I'm going to try something again today. Let me switch you guys over to the webcam. All right, so we are on the webcam. You know what? I just now remembered. I'm going to try a new webcam next week to try to improve the quality when I get on the webcam. I know we start out with a pretty good quality with the camera to start and then switch over to this, and the quality isn't that good. Now, part of the reason for that, obviously, is I do it this way because of the time it takes to render these on a daily basis. So we're going to try something new. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. And I'm slow when it comes to tech. So let's talk about the trades. I've just been I've got ZM on the brain. I mean, I've just been trading this thing constantly over and over and over again. And it's been good. It really has been. But today we didn't get those check marks. For those who came to the check mark pattern webinar, those who don't understand the check marks, we didn't get that second gear out of these things today. They just did not want to get the job done today. And sometimes that's the way it is. You can't have the perfect market in the perfect scenario. So, when we get into these, we look for all-time highs. So if you kind of go back and you just kind of, not all-time highs, daily highs. So if you kind of go back, this is what we were seeing more, were these washouts into support, followed by these aggressive grind outs that take them all the way from, say the first hour lows straight into the bell nonstop grind. We had a lot of those. So yesterday you kind of get in there where it's the same pattern, but it's a little hesitant. It doesn't ramp up that solid into the close. It takes its time, but it gets there. Today it just started out that way, and then it just gave up. It was unable to get back up here. But here's the beautiful thing about these check marks and why I keep talking about it. You're not always nothing is perfect in the stock market. We know that. And the things that traders need to understand is what happens, the worst case scenario. What happens if it doesn't work? What about the ones that don't work? What about if you have a 70% win rate? What about the 30% that don't work? What are they like? And that's when I said earlier in the video, it's minimizing the bad days, minimizing the damage the best that you can. And the thing with these having such good entries is even your bad trades still turn out okay. They're okay. So on these days, they were really big winners. And today you didn't make it. It just couldn't do it, and that's the way it is sometimes. But, if you get good entries down here, you at least get a little bit of money. If nothing, you scratch on the trade. So we haven't had that press out of it. So I'll continue to watch it. A lot of times these stocks, after they go through 3 or 4 of solid, strong days, they need a chance to kind of ramp up. So I want to put some new names on the list because I don't want to take up a lot of time today. I want to look at TTD now. It's hard, I've been saying it's hard to find some value in this market. There are a couple of stocks here. I might have mentioned them the other day, but these are a couple I want to take a look at. And that are these strong stocks that have been in just a small downtrend, something that's pulling back, something that's not pressing high. Because if you're buying a Facebook, for example, we talked about this yesterday, this is really, really steep to be chasing some, I typed in the ticker wrong. To be chasing some Facebook. I mean, there's scalps and stuff on a trade like this, but these things are like super, super steep on the daily. So kind of digging around trying to find a couple that when the money cycles around to them. One is this TTD. Looked really good. I had my eye on it today, and this is like a superior check mark, but I just flat out missed this one. I had this on, we talked about this one in pre-market, had it all lined up. I don't know. Sometimes you just miss stuff. I mean, it just gets by you and you don't know how. I thought I had some alerts set, but what a beauty. Comes down in here and tests support from the previous day, and boy, does it ever solidify that and just ramp up big time. I mean, what a monstrous move. This is like $12, $15. I just missed it. But there's still room in the daily, because if you look at the downtrend here, it's still room for this thing to trade back to 314s, maybe even 327. So there's another $20 worth of upside. We want to watch this one close for a trade. Also on that list, I would put PAYC. We did well with PAYC last week. We saw this monstrous move. Now it's taken a couple of days off. Would be nice if it could solidify itself with inside of this gap in the 10 moving average. You've got double support right here at 268. If it can kind of slide into there tomorrow, hold that 268, I'd expect this thing to really find support and then move on. So that's a good one there too. Last, Netflix. There's a couple sell down days in Netflix. Now, I feel a little, well, how do I say this? I don't know how to say it. I'm just going to start rambling. I don't know how to feel about Netflix because the washouts on this thing have been just ugly. But I would think that with a stock that was flirting, I mean, I had this on the all-time high list here. And I've worked this trade quite a few times already this week. It seems like an everyday thing with me here. And we started at the beginning of the week. We got the breakout to all-time highs, but it wasn't able to hold, and it sold off. We tried a couple of longs. They couldn't really kick into gear. And then today it was just a sell. I was like, whatever, I'm not even going to look at it. It's just washing out. It doesn't have anything going. But then you look at the daily chart and it's getting support off the 20 moving average. So this has retraced itself all the way back to where it was on the 13th of the month before it made that run. So normally what we're seeing in this market is these big stocks, these strong stocks that have had 2, 3, 5 days off where they've kind of slowly and lightly faded, normally make pretty good plays. Now, when I talked about the other two, TTD and who was it? I can't even believe I'm forgetting. PAYC, TTD and PAYC. They had slight fades, like really low volume, slight pullbacks, which are good ones, into some good support. This one got a little aggressive here, but that's Netflix. It's got some attitude problems. Let's just watch it here. It's good close on it today. Let's see if it sets up, solidifies some areas, and maybe tomorrow it can start working its way to 445, maybe even 460s. So on my list tomorrow, we always know we got these names on our list, but a couple I'm going to focus or put my main focuses on is trying to get some TTD, seeing if that trade works out well or not, or getting a trade on that, seeing if it sets up. Netflix, obviously, after 3 days of selling, could be ready to bounce, and PAYC. Now, when I get up, I have no idea what I'm going to get. Maybe none of these work out and somebody else shows up like Baba or Apple. Who knows what we're in store for, but we're going to watch those. So I'll keep it nice and short. That wasn't short. I've been talking for 20 minutes, I think. So anyway, take care, guys. If you need help, you know where I'm at. Thanks for supporting the channel, supporting Market Mutterings. Like the video if you like it. Show your support by subscribing. Click the bell link so you'll get your notifications. Let's keep it going. Until tomorrow, guys,